Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, you can see that I've already sketched out my sketch on my panel here, and I'm coming in with some sienna, and I'm adding in around this eye. I'm going to do the eyes first. I need to get some color on this white, so I'll probably be spraying out extra color on the lion's face itself just to get some coverage on the white. It's too striking. So I'm building up on the burnt sienna here to make little lines in the eye here of the lion. And these eyes aren't going to be exact like you see on the photo because the color's a little my color is a little different. But this is just burnt sienna, and I build up. You can leave light areas in the eye uh, off to the right of the eye because that's how the light is hitting the eyeball. And I kind of get it a little bit too dark and have to fix it later, but that's how it goes. And this is kind of a freehand piece. I will use some stencils here and there. It's mostly freehand because a lot of the colors in this lion piece blend into each other, so it doesn't have to be real sharp. It's kind of a fuzzy looking lion, or the hairs kind of mix in with each other. So I like doing animals, I suppose, my best, and I like doing portraits too. Um, Dogs is one of my favorites to do. But I thought we'd try a lion, leaving a little light speck of a lighter color around the pupil itself there. And this time I didn't lightly sand it, the panel. I used liquid sandpaper. It works really good, so that will be my go-to now. Instead of lightly sanding the panels, I'll be using a liquid sand off, something like gloss off, or um, a liquid that you can use even on, like if you were going to paint your cabinet doors, you would want to use something that's going to take off the shine so the paint can stick to it. So this is what we do. Learn as we go. No more sanding for me, which is one of the things I really kind of hate about using gesso is afterwards you gotta sand it and it makes such a mess. So I hate sanding, but sometimes you have to. Here I don't know why I did this, but I just sprayed some yellow over in the other eye. This is just regular yellow. You can use any yellow you have. I think mine's an orchid yellow. Later on I come back and take that yellow out of that other eye. And adding it. Now I'm adding a little green, and I wanted it to kind of mix to a lighter color, and it didn't kind of do that, but it will work out because I will fix it. Everything can be fixed, so don't think because you use the wrong color or you big splotch came out that, oh, you ruined your piece, because no, 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 you can fix everything. Now I sometimes feel that way when I'm use an acrylic with a brush and I'm brushing on a canvas. Sometimes I feel that way. I'm much better with an airbrush than I am with a paintbrush. But from time to time I like to take a break and go go back to the brush. Here I've kind of went around and put in some color on the lion and outlined a few areas so that I could come in and paint because I was losing my lines. And you can see that other eye over there to the right is not quite done yet. I thought I'd move over to this one and see about it getting it halfway done, and then I'll know what to do with the other eye. But I'm just spraying out the yellow that I have in my airbrush here onto the panel because the lion has this really light color in it. So I'm just spraying it over where I see the yellowish tones on the lion. And that will be like the block out colors that we're using. And we'll use a lot of sienna and a lot of burnt umber and a little bit of blue with black in it. Those will be the main colors. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. You don't see it, but I'm just kind of going over the line, spraying out the rest that I have in my airbrush instead of dumping it out or wasting it. I don't want to waste it, so I'm just using it. Here I go back to the eye. Finally, huh? And I'm coming in here with some burnt sienna, and I want to build up on this eye here. The way the eye looks, there's a dark shadow on this side. And this is very thin. I thin this down pretty thin with just distilled water. And this is Holbein ink. Uh, and I even twisted my little Mac valve there a little bit so I don't have it coming out so, because I didn't want that splat because it's pretty thin, you know. Twisted down my Mac valve so I don't have a lot of air coming out. I just want a little bit coming from that airbrush. Spraying it up on where I see the lines. I kind of do this, I don't know why. Instead of focusing on the one thing at a time, I'm off to different things, filling in here and there. And I need to just concentrate on the eye. But I think it's because it's so wide around it. I just got to get some color on there. And that way I don't feel like, I don't know, I'm out and floating in dead water or something. Sometimes you'll have your airbrush sometimes where it wants to just spray out real good and you're going along and then it starts spraying sideways or something and you gotta pick it off because there's usually a little blob of paint caught in around where the hole where the needle comes out. Makes it spray a different way. This lion is probably going to take a little bit of time because there's a lot of little hairs in there that need to be scratched out. Paint pulled out anyway to make it look like it's fur. I think this lion's an older lion, but he has that look about him. I don't know why I chose him, but he's got that sophisticated look like, yeah, I'm smart. Don't try to tell me nothing, I'll bite you. Trying to decide what I would call him, what his name would be. So, because I was thinking about that being the name of the painting. So, I don't know. If you got any name suggestions, put them on um, the chat thing. Give me a name. See how I just keep building that up. We've got to not be so impatient that we want to blot it out all at once. It's a process of building up your color, and then uh, standing back a bit and letting that air hit it to where it dries so you can add back over it again. I think I ran out of paint and I had to fill it back up. Here I think I'm coming back in with black, going around some areas. And I'm really not concerned about it, the overspray. I'm really not, because it blends right into the animal's fur. So it's now on when you're doing a person, or a car or something else, you've got to really be particular with those lines. But this lion has different colors in his fur, so it's really not, it's really not important to have those really sharp lines. Matter of fact, it would make it look more false if you did, like it wasn't real. I'm looking at the eye and I'm going from that to the photo best I can. I mean, it's not going to look completely like that eye, just because there's really not a lot of color in those eyes, but I'm kind of changing it to where there is a little bit more color in the eyes, because that's what I find um, really grabbing on animals or eyes if you get it the right way. So I am changing it a little bit. Putting in some green. It was, let me see, it called phthalo green. Sorry. I think I come in later with a little bit of at the end. I'll erase a little bit, and then you can hit that with a little bit of candy green, and that really makes it pop out, which I will do later. Putting in some highlights in this lion's eye here that kind of shows on the picture a little bit. It's a little bit lighter down in there. Couple little highlights. That eye is almost done. And come back over on the right eye and start trying to work on it because I'm not too happy with it yet, but I'll get there. It's a process of figuring out what I did wrong, and I know now what I did wrong. On the right side of the eye, it's supposed to be lighter, so I'll probably have to end up taking some of that color out and doing it over because I've already put a lot of color on there, and you can't do. I don't suppose you could. I have a super opaque white Holbein, and it's the only thing I've found that doesn't give you that blue hue when you make a mistake and need to go back over it. So I may just spray super opaque white on that and then go from there. Here there's some little highlights in that eye that I'm trying to get in there, and I'm using a really strong eraser there. And I probably should have used a softer one, but I knew I wouldn't be able to get it out. So I will be spraying back over this a little bit to take that look down, and that will make it blend more in the eye. Those highlights are important because they're what makes the eye pop out. Remember, always be jagged on fur, not straight. And it's starting to blend a little more. And I'm just going to, the color I have left in my paintbrush, I think I'm just going to add a little bit here and there to different places on the throat. I put a little bit more yellow in there on the eye, and that made it really look good. Really, 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 really. This seems to be my word today. Got to kind of laugh out of that new commercial for TWN Internet. The girl on there always says, actually, and actually this, and actually that, and actually somebody answers the phone. Got a little kick out of it because I find on my videos, I'm always going, um, um, um. But here, I'm just spraying color all over the line here, mixing in that yellows and sienna that I have in my brush, and it makes it easier to paint when you've got color around, because the white just washes out everything. So once you get some color on there, it really helps you. And I sprayed around the black, the corners with some violet. I'm really liking the eye. I know it needs a shadow over it, but and here I'm just coming in with my eraser and erasing out some highlights for later. There'll be some fur in there going every which way. And they come out pretty easy. If you ever find that your paint is dried and you need to get that highlight out, you can just barely damp your eraser on the end and it will pull that out. But you don't want to get it like wet. You just want it barely damp and it will pull it out a lot easier. Now I could use a dowel, but that would be really sharp and striking. Thanks for watching. Come back, guys. Thumbs up.